Good morning, everybody, and a happy Monday morning to you. Now, I have to tell you, while there is just a little bit of royal family news in here, the majority is Harry and Meghan. There's not that much royal family stuff. So let's jump in, cover what we have. There's lots. Let's go. To start with, one of my subscribers, Claire, sent me this. She said her 9-year-old son just made this particular thing you're looking at. Even I couldn't do that. Way to go, dude. All right, thank you for sending it. Let's move on. All right, next up, I mentioned this to you on Saturday, but Princess Anne attended the 150th anniversary luncheon of RYA, where she gave the Yachtsman of the Year award out, but some fabulous pictures came out. Looking good, Anne, looking good. Next up, the other day when they were in Middleborough, the King and Queen Camilla went to the Trust, which is a charity that empowers children and young people and adults with literary skills. And she joined 750 children from 12 local schools. And she presented star reading certificates to children that had earned them. I think that's lovely. All right, next up, the King sent a message to the people of Canada because they are celebrating the 80th anniversary of their flag. He sent one in English, one in French. And finally, on February 12th, the Duchess of Edinburgh, Secret Weapon Sophie, who is patron of the Chartered Management Institute, went to a meeting of their Women's Advisory Committee. Before we jump into the UK royals, I want to touch really quickly on the Norway royals. This kid, Marius, his mother married the crown prince when he was, I think, 4 years old. It was not a good thing. This kid has had all kinds of problems. He has been indulged his whole life. And back in November, I told you guys, he was first arrested last August for domestic violence, property damage, bodily harm. He was charged with a certain kind of assault against a woman. His mother married Prince Haakon in 2001, and he attends events and lives on royal property with his mother, his stepfather, and his two half-siblings, even though he's not a, member of the royal family. So anyway, this kid has again been accused of a certain kind of assault against a television presenter at the castle in a basement party back in 2018. This kid has been in so much trouble. He infamously invited criminals to the wild parties. These criminals have stolen things out of the palace. These allegations came to light because the police found 3 videos and 10 photos from the party on his laptop. So they brought him into the police. They brought the girl into the police. She has nothing to do with this. They're pressing the charges. Now, this guy, they can't find him now. I don't know what the parents have done with him. I don't know if they've thrown him into a place for, drug abuse. Who knows? But in 2024, he was arrested 3 times in 4 months, and there's been a host of other allegations against him. The series of just disturbing accounts against him, per the outlet, include 2 incidents of violence against an ex-girlfriend, violence against his other ex-girlfriends, one of whom he abused over a period of 4 years, a certain kind of assault of a woman in her 20s who was unable to resist, and another kind of assault, same thing though, of a different woman in her 20s. This kid, his stepfather, has literally been a father to him. And by the way, in case you're wondering, yes, this man above is the brother to Princess Martha Louise, the one who just married the black HIV positive bisexual shaman in the family. So obviously there's some serious problems going on. This kid is in serious trouble. The royal family there have said they are not going to protect him. They're going to let the law take its course, which I think as they should, especially with what he's been accused of. That's just terrible. All right, let's move on. Right. Remember I told you that the indigenous community was complaining and trying to fix things up with Harry because the royal family ignored them? Well, come to find out, the last time the king came to Canada, he and Camilla spent time in the indigenous communities. But they were in a completely different territory, nowhere near Vancouver. I agree, somebody's telling lies. All right, next up, I had to touch on this. I told you guys, just because Trump said he won't deport him, that doesn't mean anything, especially with what's going on here right now. A judge has now ordered the U.S. government to look into which documents related to Harry's visa can be released to the public. So it's very, it looks like we may just be getting the information we've all been looking for and waiting for. Well, this is going to be good. All right, next up, I told you guys they're listening to what we're saying and they're responding. So everybody was talking about the fact that Meghan Markle is now wearing the royal insignia on her pinky. So what do? They go to People magazine, their go-to magazine, and they're saying that she's always been a fan of pinky rings, but this ring was a gift from Harry, that it really had nothing to do with her. And I want you to listen to what I'm about to say. They're saying it was an anniversary gift from Harry last year. So she's had this ring for a year. Okay, remember that. No, this was supposedly given as a gift a year ago. However, people are saying that this is basically, she's wearing it for snob value because she's reminding people she has a royal cipher. She wants to be accepted by the firm for the sake of the children. And the royal family has to know she'll never go away. But, they're not going to give her the attention. Oh, well. All right, here we go. The Netflix show was supposed to come out in January. Now it's pushed back to March. And if you can believe it, Meghan Markle has been urged to delay the release of it because they're saying that March feels too soon. Now they're saying that Meghan, being an LA native, this situation just hits close to home for her. The wildfires are not just some far off disaster. She has a personal reason to care about them, and that her response won't feel performative. It will be personal, which is a major advantage over celebrities parachuting in with generic statements. So basically, even though people are telling her to push it back, if typical Meghan, she's not listening to their advice because she knows better. And so she's insisting that they go ahead and let it go. She wants it to sync up with major media moments, like a big Vogue feature or a fresh Oprah interview or something like that. We will see. All right. Meghan and Harry flew to Canada on a private jet. They did that last year as well. Nothing's changed. So it was thought that the two of them flew in the same $9 million aircraft last week. It cost between $21,000 and $30,000 because renting a jet that size costs between $7,000 and $10,000 an hour. Now remember, they are supposed to be environmental role models. They've previously won green awards. However, Meghan then took the private jet home by herself. There was nobody on it but herself and a security guard. And that flight alone, they're saying, will have produced 6.6 tons of CO2, which is the equivalent to the weight of a large elephant, and it burned 800 gallons of fuel. This jet made a stop, however, before it got back. I'm sure we'll find out later on what happened, but it left Vancouver at 2:06 p.m. and touched down in Seattle at 2:40 p.m. And then 2 hours later, it took off again at 3:14 p.m. and then stopped in Santa Barbara. Yeah, you have to wonder, why did it stop? What was she doing? This particular plane, by the way, can go up to 5,000 miles and accommodate up to 10 passengers. Now, we all saw the amount of luggage being removed. I showed it to you previously, so it has plenty of room for luggage as well. Now, on Valentine's Day, Meghan put out this picture. 1, it's black and white. 2, it's very staged. Notice the purse all the way to the left. Notice she has a hamburger in front of her and fish and chips, the UK thing, in front of Harry. Also notice that their lips don't meet. This is so staged. Also notice she's got her left arm up, touching the left side of Harry's face so she can showcase her jewelry. With this, she put up this whole cheesy thing. I'm going to let you freeze it and read it for yourself. But notice at the end, she's got the hashtag love wins. You remember that? For those of you who don't know, the meaning behind that is it's an affirmation to triumph over hate, discrimination, and negative energies. Ugh. Did she post that? Well, more than likely, because look, this is what she posted about Marcus Anderson, her gay friend from her Soho days. Now, why is she posting all of this stuff? Well, that would be because Princess Catherine and Prince William posted this picture. Notice it's not staged. They're out, in the woods just being themselves. I'm sure it won't be long before she tells everybody that this picture was taken by Archie with the Leica camera that he wanted. So after Meghan gets back from Invictus, she puts this post up. Notice the thing of fruit and everything, because I think she's doing this to try to pull the attention away. Let's not forget that when Harry went off for his coronation, or for the father's coronation, Meghan was suddenly papped out and about with her friend Marcus Anderson hiking. Just boom, they happened to show up somewhere and the paps just happened to be there. How about when Harry went off to Asia with Nacho, suddenly she was papped wearing anti-stress patches. Remember all of this? She's constantly trying to pull the attention to herself when they're separated. So is anybody surprised that she suddenly put out a video for Valentine's Day showing her cutting strawberries into heart shapes and putting them on cream cheese and sticking them on bagels? I'm not surprised. So several things about her Instagram post. First of all, she starts showing Archie once again by the back of the head. Wow, he's got brown hair, which we all knew he had. Second of all, you see what's supposed to be the daughters sitting up on the counter with a container of strawberry cream cheese. So obviously Meghan didn't make the cream cheese. Third of all, she's cutting these strawberries with the biggest knife you ever saw instead of a paring knife, which shows me that she's just really not a foodie. So in preparation for the release of this Netflix show, we're supposed to believe that she's so great because she has store-bought bagels, store-bought cream cheese, and as you just saw a cut there, so this is made over multiple cuts, and she puts strawberries on top. Wow, that's just groundbreaking. I mean, if you go on Pinterest, there's like 200 recipes on there, some of them very old. Now, the next thing is the dog. During the video, you see the dog in the lower right corner. He tries to jump up. He tries to get the plate as she's carrying it. I don't even know where. There seems to be a lot of bagels and cream cheese and strawberries for just the three of them. So here is a piece of the video, very slow. Look at the dog. You see it? I believe it was Royal Terrier on Twitter who first brought this to everybody's attention because something is just really, really, really wrong with this. Here's the thing. This is Guy, direct from Netflix, okay? That's him sitting on the pillow. This is their other rescue beagle, Mia. But do you notice the difference between the two dogs? Guy has this dark spot on his forehead. So I said, well, that's Guy. And people said, no. The video clearly shows Meghan wearing her new signet ring. It can't be Guy. But as you heard from People magazine, she's had that ring for a year. So I believe this video was taken last year and just released, and that's why the kids look so small, because she's playing another game with the media. And I might also add the room that she's in. That room doesn't look like any of the rooms in their Montecito house. The truth is, even though she said she felt like the royal family wanted her to serve up her children, she's using her children to get you to come to her Instagram. And also, look at what she's using to cut. Very expensive knives. I bet there's some sales stuff going on here as well. And when you're cooking with your children, as Christy here pointed out on Twitter, you actually have them, cooking. There's full face photos. It shows them mixing. It shows them measuring. It shows them pouring. It shows what the kids are doing when they're helping to cook and what the final product is. Not just a head, not just a hand. All right, now let's keep going. Prince Harry is opening up an Invictus about the future for his kids and, of course, sharing Diana's legacy. He has to throw Diana in there. And everybody has noticed and is commenting on the fact that since Meghan Markle has left, Harry looks so much happier. He looks like the old Harry. He looks like the Harry that we used to see before he met Meghan. The Harry that everybody in the UK loved. He literally, it's the craziest thing. He literally is like a different person when she's not around. And if this is the Harry that would stay, where he'd give his candid wish for Invictus for the next 10 years, and he's got his genuine smile on his face, and he's running around congratulating everybody, then I think people would be a lot happier. But that's really just not Harry. You guys know what I'm saying? Harry eventually is going to have to go home. Now, in the meantime, so Harry went back to the First Nations, he went to the daycare, saw the kids, and then he met with the youth ambassadors. They're the ones dedicated to preserving culture and heritage. And Harry took part in a blanketing ceremony, which is supposedly the highest honor, symbolizing protection, respect, and the recognition of one's journey. It's supposed to be a powerful and sacred gesture that symbolizes the warmth and embrace of the community. It's supposed to be a deep sense of belonging and solidarity. What I noticed is that while Meghan Markle is putting up her posts about love and Valentine's Day, this is what Harry was doing. As far as I can tell, he didn't put up anything about Meghan Markle at all. And a big thank you to that one on Twitter for this picture, because damn. Now, one other thing, Harry put out a story about how he has to go to therapy to cope with his role in the Invictus games, listening to other people. I mean, all I saw when I saw this, all I thought was, here's Harry making himself a victim again. Like, are you serious? You are not a victim. Now, one other thing I want to point out, besides the fact that Harry looks much happier since Meghan left, there's some discussion as to why Meghan might have left. And let me just tell you this. They're saying it was always in the plans. But we know that the Danish prince was coming with his wife. And I'm sorry, but I don't believe that she would ever give up the chance for a photo op with real European royalty. Obviously, something went on. I've told you before, she inserted herself into every picture. She hung on him. It was just ridiculous. The guy couldn't do anything without her there. And since she's left, he looks much more relaxed. So something, in my opinion, took place. Of course, will we ever know what it was? Probably not. But I don't think she left of her own accord. I don't think it was planned. Now, really quickly, for those of you who have not subscribed to my other channel, you should know that on Sunday morning, my first recipe went up, and I have some other stuff I'm going to be putting up this week. You don't want to miss it. The link for that channel is down in the description box, along with the link to my Twitter, my Gettr, my Rumble, my email, my physical address, my Amazon wish list as well. For those of you who've donated to my coffee fund, thank you so much. And as always, you guys, have a great day.